Hey everyone, this is Aryan and welcome back to Apollo X64 where we discuss about computers and the things that make them awesome. Today we are going to look at an Indian Linux distro made by the government of India called BOSS Linux, which stands for Bharat Operating System Solutions. It was made in 2007 by Center for Development of Advanced Computing or CDAC Chennai, which is a part of the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology of the Indian government. Now, Indian distros are rare to find because not many of them exist, and ones that do exist are not used by anyone. There are only two known major Linux distros that are developed by the Government of India, which are Maya OS and Boss Linux. Maya OS is developed by DRDO, which is a military research organization in India, and this Linux distro is only used by the Indian Armed Forces for their defense technologies and is not available for public use. POS Linux is the only one that's available for personal use as well as enterprise use, and that's what we'll be looking at today in this video. Now let us have a look at the flavors of BOSS Linux. BOSS Linux is based on Debian and it comes in four flavors: the flagship BOSS Linux, EduBoss, BOSS Server, and BOSS Mule. BOSS Linux also supports regional Indian languages such as Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, Bengali, and many more. This makes it easier for an average Indian user to use it without much hassle. BOSS Linux also claims about 6 million deployments of its distro, but we are not sure where it's actually being used. BOSS Linux Regular Edition is currently on version 10 Pragya and uses Cinnamon as its desktop environment. So thank God it's not GNOME. This is the flagship version of BOSS Linux and it's meant for personal and office use. This edition is aimed towards growth of fast software in India and is an attempt to bring more Indians into the Linux environment from the fields of government, enterprise, and academia. Now, speaking of the system requirements, we need minimum 2 GB of RAM, 15 GB of hard drive storage, and minimum 1 GHz of Pentium processor, which is not really hard to find these days. Now, speaking of the other flavors, which is EduBoss, this version seems to be aimed towards school students and schools. It includes pre-installed software such as Paint, educational games, and many more. However, I've never heard of any school in India opting EduBoss since most of the computers run Windows and most schools don't have computers in the first place. Now, Boss Server is their favorite flavor of for server hosting, just like Ubuntu Server, which is mostly meant for enterprise use. It supports web server, proxy server, database server, mail server, and many more tools to get your development and enterprise sorted. Boss Mule, on the other hand, seems to be their own flavor for low-level hardware and driver development, and again, this seems to be some kind of their own fork of Linux kernel for better maintainability. Speaking of software support, so each Boss Linux version gets 4 years of software support, which is pretty good. In this video, we'll be going with the flagship Boss Linux 10 Pragya, and we'll have a good. Now let us download Boss Linux. So for this, we need to head to the downloads page on the website, and we need to scroll down, and we'll find the download for Boss 10. You just have to click this download button, and it will download. I actually have this downloaded already, and I installed it on a VM. So let's just get to it and let's have a look. Okay, so welcome back. Now let's install Boss Linux on this VM. So let us choose English as the default language and choose India as the location. And then we can configure, let me actually check if there are the Indian languages mentioned. Okay, so they do have Indian languages. They have Kannada, Hindi, and I see Gujarati. So it seems that they did add a lot of Indian languages support. So, but again, let's just use American English. So it's basically installing right now. Okay, so it's asking for a host name. I'm gonna use boss as let's search this is applicant. Okay, full name for the user, let's take Spacious Studios. Let's type some random password. So let's just use the entire disk since I've made a virtual hard drive for it. Yeah. Okay, so it's installing the system right now. I think it will take some time. Okay, so here we are, and we are done with installing Boss Linux, and it's booting into the OS right now. Wait, I really don't remember the password. I think it's changed me. No. I think that should be the password. Okay. Forgot. Okay, so we are in. Okay, so here we are. So this is Boss Linux, and I think we'll just mess around and see what it's actually like. So this is basically your Cinnamon with some Boss Linux stuff stripped onto it. So let's actually see what kind of apps we have right now. So it's just the regular Cinnamon stuff. I think the only new stuff that we can see here is Chromium installed by default, which is something that we usually don't see in any Linux distros. And don't see anything new. It's just the LibreOffice. Nope. There's nothing special about this one. I think it's just Cinnamon with some Boss stuff, with a Boss name stabbed onto it. So let us actually look at the desktop backgrounds. Let's see if they actually have something original in here. So let's see if they have anything new. This is the default background. Let us see if they have something else. Blobs, Boss Crystal. Okay, I think this is the one that we have right now. And everything else just seems to be some Cinnamon stuff, nothing new. No, I don't see anything new about this thing. So let us actually explore the rest of the operating system. So let us try Neofetch. So let us actually update the packages right now. So just so that we can install Neofetch. Again, I know Neofetch is has been discontinued. Maybe it will work for some time. Okay, so I don't really understand what kind of logo Neofetch made in there, but it does show the system specs and the basic info of Boss Linux here. So we have Cinnamon as the desktop environment, and the VirtualBox resolution is 800 by 600, and this is Boss Linux 10 Regia 64-bit edition, and everything is just the basic Neofetch stuff. Again, I don't really see anything special about this distro, besides the fact that it's an Indian distro. Again, everything in this distro is basically something you will already have in Cinnamon distros like Linux Mint. And there's nothing really much special about it. It's just your regular Firefox, and I don't see anything special like the software that they have mentioned. But again, this is a nice move, and if this really gets adopted by the government and if they enforce it everywhere, I think this will be the start of Linux, the growth of Linux in India. But again, only time will tell whether this will actually be adopted. But again, everyone is used to Windows in here, so I don't really think it will blow off in the personal market space. But if government really enforces this in government offices, schools, etc., this might actually be a good distro and may actually gain some popularity. But again, it's all up to the government and the people. The Make in India scheme, again, we build products but we don't actually use them, and I think this is one of them. Again, unless government makes this actually useful, I don't really think this is gonna take off. So that's it for this video, and today we had a look at Boss Linux, which is basically the Indian Linux distro, and thanks for watching.